Welcome to the Ice Guys, presented by the Hockey Podcast Network. Saturday, March the 12th. Ian Cameron, our weekend warrior from Latvia, with us as always on weekends. And we've got a special guest joining us as well. You'll remember him. He was on the Betcast, one of our previous Betcasts a few weeks ago. We got Scott G joining us. You can follow him on Twitter. Please do. Let's get his follower numbers up on Twitter at Hockey Props. Scott G joining us. Scott, we'll start with you, a special guest helping us cap and preview and analyze this huge 10-game card on this Saturday. Welcome to the show, and glad you could join us.
Hey, thanks a lot, Ian. Got to start somewhere, right? So just a big fan jumping in. It's a big card tonight. Let's get right to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Vito, how are things with you? Ready for a big Saturday?
Yeah, of course. I mean, some pretty bad luck on some small plays, like, for example, Oilers had money line and puck line against Caps, and the last call, I mean, refs don't call OV penalties, it's OV. So, but some bad beats lately, but yeah, ready for Saturday, as everyone else, I guess.
Yeah, we sure are. And we've got a huge Saturday slate. We thank everyone, of course, for joining us live on YouTube. Make sure you hit the like button. But we have a big Saturday slate. We've got 10 games. And we start with a game that's about to begin in about 20 minutes from now. St. Louis Blues and the Nashville Predators. We've got Nashville minus 140. Home favorites in this game, 5.5 the total in this one. St. Louis finally getting a much-needed win the other night. They took care of business against the New York Rangers. Really, they made the Rangers look pretty bad in their own zone. I mean, turnovers were an issue. They played poorly in front of Igor Shesterkin. As I said yesterday, be careful about blaming Shesterkin for the loss for the Rangers against St. Louis. They played a terrible defensive game. I thought the Rangers that night and the Blues took advantage of that. I think when you look at this matchup, it's going to be a little bit more difficult here for St. Louis. Nashville's been pretty good at home this year. They're coming off a nice win against Anaheim, 4-1 on home ice the other night. We'll see if they can carry the momentum forward here to this game this afternoon against Nashville. I really don't have a strong feel on this one. It's an early one. Both of these teams have been up and down. What I like about St. Louis, though, is that they had a 4-game losing streak. They snapped the skid. And oftentimes I like teams in this spot when they snap a little bit of a losing streak and they finally get back in the win column. A lot of times it ends up being a situation where they get positive momentum from that and they really carry it forward to the next game. You could see that here from for St. Louis. Nashville's won 3 in a row. They beat San Jose 8-0, Dallas 2-1, Anaheim, as I mentioned, 4-1. But I like St. Louis snapping the losing streak. I'd lean to the Blues. This could be a draw potentially as well. I expect a close game. It's worth noting. We saw an overtime game in November with these two teams in St. Louis, 4-3 for Nashville. The last game was 5-3 in January in favor of St. Louis. But even then, it was a close game for the most part. And it ended up being a late goal for St. Louis to make it a 2-goal margin. But that was a 1-goal game for the most part. So I lean to the Blues. From a side perspective, this could be one of those games where taking the draw is also not a bad way to go here in this one, in my opinion. Vito, let's start with you. What do you think, Blues Predators?
Yeah, I think this is going to be an even game. I don't think Preds deserve this price tag, even being at home against Blues. Blues doesn't deserve this price tag. I think it should be priced a little bit more close than it's priced now. So, this is definitely stay away from me game because I also total is in the 5.5. I think this is also going to push over as well. A 4-2 victory for one of the teams, easy. Overall, the series this year is the result is 1-1. Blues hasn't lost in regulation. That's the only difference in this series because that game went to the OT. I don't have a strong feeling as well on this game. I mean, Blues hasn't been generating a lot in offense lately. I know they kind of bounced back against Rangers. And I mean, that was the game they got up to. Will they get up to this game? Well, it is a division rival game, but it's an away game and it's a brunch game. And from my experience this season, I think we have talked a lot about it, that Blues are not the best team in brunch. They somehow don't wake up. And overall, the Blues are a slow starting team. So, these early games, I think definitely advantage is on Nashville's side. So, but Blues maybe can late in the game get back in and tie it, and this easy can go to the OT. So I would agree with Ian. I think draw is a great look here. Don't have a strong feeling, but if anything, then if you guys want to know over or under, I think this actually goes over.
Yeah, 5.5. It's usually over or pass for me when I'm talking an NHL, especially a regular season NHL. Playoffs is different. Playoffs, you do get it a little tighter, maybe better defensively, a little more emphasis at that end. But in the regular season, it's difficult for me to go under a 5.5, especially with what we've seen lately with a lot of overs this week. You had a 9-1. By the way, last Saturday we had a 9-1 day to the over in the 10 Saturday games last Saturday, 9-1 to the over. So I'm not saying it's going to be 9-1 to the over today with the 10 games, but it goes to show you we have definitely seen a lot of high scoring NHL hockey.
Maybe I can add quickly. I think this might also be a high scoring weekend because a lot of teams today which gonna play tomorrow. So I think this might be a high scoring weekend, and then maybe kind of things settle down.
I think things will settle down. I said this earlier this week, Vito. I think trade deadline is when you're going to start to see it tighten up a little bit. After the trade deadline, teams have their rosters in place for the rest of the regular season and the playoffs at that point. And that's when I think you're going to start to see some unders, or at least some more unders and some more emphasis on a little bit more defensive hockey. Scott, what do you think here? St. Louis, Nashville.
No surprise. I'm right there with you, Vito. I had a slight lean toward Nashville. At home, it's an 11:30 local start. I was at the game last week against the Islanders, where St. Louis did not show up. They were very flat. Having said that, I think you could see Nashville take a lot of shots. I think we saw Husso confirmed. So I'm going to go over on the props for Husso. I see 29.5 saves. I see Nashville generating a lot of shots. Also, I had 4-2. I had 4-2, slight lean toward Nashville. If I'm gonna bring up one thing here, I got the name jumped out at me, Roman Josi. Shots prop. This guy puts up 4-2, 5, 7, and 1. Over 3.5 even money. If he scores a goal, and Roman Josi's gonna play half the game, he's on the power play. Again, I know you got Husso going in there, but plus 295 to score a goal. Put me in Roman Josi. I like him out there half the game. Play the power play. See if we can get lucky with Roman Josi. On St. Louis, you got Rob Thomas. I mean, we've seen it before. Jumping in for the Buchnevich spot, putting up some points. Let's see if he could score a goal. Bargain bin. I think you can get him around 390. Could double check me there, Ian. And that's from the bargain bin. Give me Rob Thomas to score. Roman Josi's shots prop going to be a consideration for best bet.
The prop looks and the prop analysis, great stuff. And you're right, Robert Thomas is one of those players that for St. Louis, that's why they've got some of the best forward depth I think they've had in years. They've got guys like that can step up. And last 10 games, he scored in 3 of those games. At the last 5 games, Robert Thomas has scored in 2 of the last 5, 3 of the last 10, 2 of the last 5. And with the price you're getting on him, plus 400, I'm seeing in some spots for Robert Thomas to score a goal. That's worth it. For a guy that scored in 2 of 5, 3 of 10, you like the percentages on your side for a plus 400 shot, in my opinion. So
give it a shot.
It's worth a look. And again, you mentioned the thing that I also like to consider with player props: players getting more ice time, an elevated spot in the lineup. And that is no question for Robert Thomas, what he's getting right now. He's playing with Tarasenko and Kyrou. He's going to get opportunities to score. Certainly points props for him as well, probably worth considering as well in this game. And I've been going with those over 1.5 point props with some of these players lately, and it's been paying. JT Miller again last night cashed for me over 1.5 points. It's been absolutely magnificent for Vancouver lately. That's been automatic. Same with Barkov, over 1.5 points for Florida lately. These have been great bets. This is a great market to tap into. Points props over 1.5, because you can get all these guys at like plus 200, plus 150, plus 250 in some cases. Yeah, you can get Robert Thomas plus 330, plus 340, 2 points or more today. Even just for Robert Thomas to get a point is minus 120. I like both of those. I think you could sprinkle on the minus 120 to get a point, and also the plus 340 to get 2 points. So yeah, Robert Thomas in that second line center spot. Matt Duchene, I like over 1.5 points maybe for Nashville as well. He's had multi-point games, I believe 3 of the last 4. And you get a plus price on him to get 2 points, plus 225. Matt Duchene, 2 points or more for the Nashville Predators. So good prop game. That's the thing I've done a lot more lately this season. If I don't love the side or total before the game, I can look at props, and I think there's some good prop opportunities here with this early game, Blues and Predators. All right, Flyers and Hurricanes next up. We got Carolina minus 310 home favorites, 6 the total in this one. This is the ABC game, nationally televised at 3 p.m. Eastern today. Philadelphia definitely playing, I guess, more competitive hockey. They've taken points, at least in some of these games where they've, gotten to overtime, and they've been competitive, but they weren't so competitive last time against Florida, 6-3. They lose to the Panthers. Carolina off a 2-0 shutout win against Colorado. Very impressive. 3 wins in a row now for them. We'll see if they can keep it going here. Against Philadelphia. They've played the Flyers 3 times this year. They lost the first meeting at home, bit of an upset, 2-1. But after that, they won in Philly 6-3, and they got an overtime win 4-3 in their last visit to Carolina. I lean to the over a little bit here in this game, simply because you got the over going 5-0 in the last 5 road games for the Philadelphia Flyers. They just don't seem to have be able to shut down these better teams offensively, like a Florida who got 6 against them. Minnesota put up a 5 spot last week against Philadelphia. Now, look, Carter Hart's playing a little bit better lately. But again, Carter Hart goes on the road against Florida, and he struggles in that game. And Florida's going to make a lot of goalies look bad. But Carter Hart does have a bit of a change in his performance, good to bad, home versus road. We've seen that throughout his career. See if we see that again here. Frederik Andersen actually might return today for the Carolina Hurricanes. There's been no confirmation of goalies here for this game. It's Husso and Saros, by the way, for the St. Louis-Nashville game. But in this game, we don't have confirmation. It's been day-to-day for Freddie Andersen with his injury. Obviously, Antti Raanta has started the last 3 games, and he's actually played well, Raanta, for the Hurricanes. But there's a chance they say Andersen might be cleared and be in the net this afternoon. We'll see if that's the case. We have no confirmation yet. But I lean over in this one. And Carolina team total, certainly a consideration as well. But I don't know. I think Philadelphia, if Anderson's back, hasn't started in a few games, might be a little not as sharp here early in his first start if he gets in net. So I would lean to the full game over here, 6 in this one, Philly and Carolina. Vito, what do you think here? Flyers, Hurricanes.
All right, that's good. Yeah, I think this is the last meeting. Yeah, it's something lagged. This is the last meeting between these two teams this year. So at the moment, it's I think 2-1 to Carolina's side. And yeah, well, we have to really check who's gonna be in the net here, because both of these teams gonna play also tomorrow. They're gonna be on a back-to-back. So let's see who's gonna be in the net for Flyers. Let's see who's gonna be in net for Carolina. I think then it's gonna be a little bit better, because we all know who is Jones, right, this season. I think Ian knows very well.
Mr. Beach Ball guy. So yeah, I mean, then if we see Martin Jones, yeah, the number will jump to the over. I mean, I have seen a movement to the over, so maybe someone already knows that it's going to be Jones or something. I don't know it. So at the moment, I don't have a bet on this game, but I don't think Philly can stay competitive, because they had a long home stretch, and the first game against Panthers, that was a straight away fade for Philly, I think, because after a long home stretch, you kind of know that Philly cannot get it together on the road game. I mean, straight away. And yeah, they also not that faster team anymore. They're like pretty old guys in the team. So a team like Panthers just out and were faster than them on the ice. That was easy. But here today, I think, also my game might even maybe stay close here, because Carolina is not like Panthers. Carolina somehow gets the lead and tries to hold on the lead. They don't like go and just eliminate enemies 5-0 or anything. We have seen sometimes this season, like against Bruins that time, and big victories for Carolina, but usually it's like 1-goal games. And even we see Carolina, usually they don't even cover the puck line, because that's the reason, because they really protect their net. They don't run there and try to score the empty net. So usually, yeah, Carolina also is good on protecting the lead. So at this price, I'm not sure if I don't have any place on this game, to be honest. Maybe if I see Jones and maybe even Anderson or Raanta, that doesn't matter, because Anderson has not played for some time, so even he will be shaky. So yeah, I think maybe, for the over also it's a little bit hard, because not sure if Flyers can get me the goals, because yeah, Canes
Canes can get 4 maybe today if it's Jones or even a Hart. I think doesn't matter. I think Canes like 3 or 4 goals Canes are getting here. It depends how much Flyers are getting. If Flyers are getting 2, Canes are getting 4. I think. If Flyers are getting nothing, Canes maybe are getting only 3. That could be also the things here. So I don't have any string also play on this game, guys. So yeah, if anything, obviously Carolina should win, but yeah, don't have any wagers on this game.
Yeah, we're going to say that a lot from now until the end of the regular season. Yeah, we think the big favorite should win, but what are you going to do? I mean, they're minus 310. You're not even getting great value with anything else, regulation or puck line or anything. So difficult. You'd have to find other ways, team totals, first periods, stuff like that, if you're going to back a favorite in this range the rest of the way. What do you think here, Scott?
Yeah, it's a big question on the Carolina goalie. What's the situation with Anderson? Like you said, Vito, you can count on the Hurricanes to score. What's the Flyers going to do here? Or are you looking at a typical Carolina game, or is this a game maybe where you find some value in the Flyers here? Because you're not going to lay the 3-1 price with Carolina. Is there any value with Philly in regulation? I mean, it depends how many goals they put up. I had Flyers over 2.5 team total. You can get that at a plus price, 125 somewhere. And the only reason I even like that is, again, it's a question mark on what's Anderson going to look like right out the gate. And in the 3 meetings, these teams have already played 3 times. The Flyers have put up 3, 3, and 2. So they've been right there at that 2.5 team total. Again, you got to wait to see who Carolina's throwing out in net. But you can count on Carolina to score. And when you look at Carolina, it's usually Sebastian Aho. I think Svechnikov is a nice value. You can get him plus 160 to score. He's a top power play guy. They go to him. He's a good look on that top unit. But maybe the best bet for me on this game, and again, I'm not doing anything until we see the goalie. You can get the Flyers team total 3.5 at a plus 340 price. And if Flyers, who are playing pretty competitive, especially against the Hurricanes this year, take advantage of maybe a soft Anderson or the Hurricanes looking toward the game tomorrow in Pittsburgh, and they could somehow put up a 4 spot against Carolina, which I know is crazy, but it's kind of a weird spot for Carolina here. I'll take that chance at a plus 340 team total for the Flyers here, who have been competitive, and we'll see who plays in goal for Carolina.
Get over 2.5 at a plus price with the Flyer team total. I mean, it's not bad. I mean, this also Carolina off one of the monster performances and games of their regular season against Colorado. So
yeah,
do you really get Carolina's A game? It's a legit question mark here. Now it's national TV. It's ABC. You think, you should be ready to play, but easier said than done when you go from playing Colorado to Philly. The one issue I have with Philly, and it is concerning, is the concussion suffered by Scott Laughton, because he's had a nice season for them offensively. It's in a lot of instances they've relied a lot on Giroux, obviously, offensively, along with Atkinson, Konechny at times, Van Riemsdyk at times. But boy, they've gotten a lot from Laughton. And now he's going to be out indefinitely for the Flyers. So it definitely is unfortunate to see that, because he's had a nice season, 25 points, I believe he's had, or 28 points rather, for the Flyers. So it's definitely going to be an impact loss, and it shuffles their forward group around a little bit. We'll see if they can make do with that here. Again, no confirmation of goalies, but I'd expect Carter Hart for Philly, and I'd expect probably I think Anderson's going to be back, but again, we don't have confirmation just yet on the goalies in that one. All right, the rest of the games are at night, so we'll go to them. Chicago and Ottawa next up. We've got even money pretty much both sides in this game. Chicago and Ottawa total right now 6 in some spots, 5.5 in others. So make sure you shop around in terms of the total, because we're seeing a split number here with the total from one book to the next. I like the over a little bit here, just because that's the way they're playing right now. The Chicago Blackhawks is, especially now with 5.5s available at a bunch of books here for this game. They're not playing great at the defensive end, and not even Marc-Andre Fleury is bailing them out. And obviously they had Lankinen in net the other night when they took on the Boston Bruins. They ended up losing that game by a score of 4-3. I think you're going to probably see goals in both directions here. Ottawa's gone over now in a couple of games lately, 2 of their last 4. Vegas was a low-scoring game. St. Louis was a low-scoring game, but St. Louis had been kind of struggling offensively going into that loss to Ottawa. They went over the total with Seattle the other night. Arizona, Ottawa went over the total as well. And I think for Ottawa, they're going to be able to score goals against teams that struggle in their own end. And let's be honest, right now, Chicago is struggling in their own end. They gave up 4 to Boston, 3 to Anaheim, 6 to Tampa, 4 to Philly, 3 to Edmonton, 4 to St. Louis, 5 to New Jersey, 5 to Florida, 7 to Columbus, in the last 10 games that they've played. So they've definitely had struggles keeping the puck out of their own net. And even in games with Marc-Andre Fleury, who's probably going to be in net tonight for them, it will be Anton Forsberg for Ottawa, who's played pretty well lately. But I like the way Chicago's playing at the offensive end right now as well. They've got multiple players that are in good form. This is a good prop game for Chicago, I think. Brandon Hagel, he's feeling it right now. I think goal scorer prop with him's worth a look in this game tonight against the Senators. You look at Hagel's numbers. He's scored in 2 of the last 5 games. He's also scored in 3 of the last 10, and you're getting, plus 200, plus 250 on him to score a goal. You're not getting great price with DeBrincat. Plus 120 in a lot of spots, but he scored in 5 straight games. So I wouldn't talk you out of DeBrincat. You're just not getting a great price. Patrick Kane's been good lately. I'd look at points with Patrick Kane at the moment because he has gotten over 1.5 points in 5 of the last 10 games, as well as 3 of the last 5 games. And you can get over 1.5 points on Patrick Kane right now at plus 175. A pretty good price with that for a guy that's registered multi-point games recently, who's been really racking up the numbers as of late. 12 points in the last 5 games in the month of March. 12 points for Patrick Kane in those games here in the month of March. So he has been very good offensively, scoring, facilitating, distributing, and he has been racking up the point numbers here in the month of March for the Chicago Blackhawks. Is that true, JRA, that Martin Jones is confirmed for the Flyers? Let me just see. I haven't. I'm just going to go and make sure because obviously we're hoping to. Yes, it is confirmed. According to Left Wing Lock, which is a reliable source usually, Martin Jones is in net, Mr. Beach Ball, for the Philadelphia Flyers. So strengthens the case of that. Now the over's taking money. I can see it. It was 6 minus 110. I'm now seeing minus 115 on that over. People are reacting. So strengthens the case for that over with the Flyers and the Hurricanes now in this early game. So I like this. Like to hear that Martin Jones is in net for them this afternoon. All right. As far as this game goes, I like over 5.5. I think it's a good prop game. Patrick Kane points, DeBrincat to score, maybe Brandon Hagel to score for Ottawa. I think you can go with Connor Brown, maybe find the back of the net for them, a little bit of value on that. Alex Formenton has really started to percolate lately for the Senators as well. If you want to value a goal scorer prop, under the radar, a big bang for your buck type of prop, could be Alex Formenton for the Ottawa Senators. He has scored in 2 of the last 5 games and also 2 of the last 10. But again, you're talking about plus 350 in some spots for him to get on the board. And of course, it goes without saying, I mentioned Hagel to score, Dylan Strome to score. He's been terrific. 5 of the last 10 games. He's found the back of the net 3 of the last 5. And you can still get in that plus 225, plus 250 range for Dylan Strome to score a goal for the Blackhawks. So I think it's a pretty good player prop game tonight with these two teams. Vito, what do you think here? Chicago, Ottawa.
Yeah, I mean, Chicago have been scoring a lot of goals, but if you just check how they are playing 5-on-5, they're not generating too much chances. Most of their goals actually come from odd man rushes, when it's like a turnover or something. Kaner gets the puck, passes to DeBrincat or Hagel, or how you call it, and he scores, So most of the goals Chicago are scoring this way. But again, from the Ottawa side, lately, Ottawa have been playing some open hockey. I mean, it looks like every game they played, it should go over. I mean, the stats show that, and when I watched the games, I mean, even the one game ended 2-1 when Ottawa was playing against, I don't remember who, but the game should go over, but it stayed under. So, yeah, I think Ottawa plays a very open hockey at the moment. And this spot, that 5.5, yeah, I think Kaner definitely been putting up some show lately, and when the Kaner is hot, I mean, you can definitely rely on him getting at least 2 points a night, so that's 2 goals. for the team. So yeah, I think I'm not playing any wagers on this game, guys. But if you would like to know my lean, I think definitely it should go over 5.5. So I can see this game at like being maybe like 2-2 in the second period, and then you just have to rely on some more goals. So that's not that I really want to bet. I kind of want to bet over when it's already done in the first or second period. But yeah, I think this game definitely is telling over. And yeah, well, if to pick the side, I mean, hard to pick the Blackhawks because they don't generate too much offense on 5-on-5, but they're good on power plays. They're good on odd man rushes, because they have skilled players. And again, Ottawa is a kind of hard working team which gets up to some strong teams, and then they play some bad teams. They don't get up to those teams, looks like. But Chicago, how you take Chicago. I mean, if historically, Chicago with the Stanley Cup victories is a good team, right? They have some, prestige, so how you call it. So I think all of us should get up to this game. So let's see how it ends. I don't have a strong opinion on side, but I think it should go over 5.5 in this spot.
Yeah, and again, I kind of like the overs too with two teams that are out of the playoffs, like Chicago and Ottawa. A lot of times they just roll it out there and trade goals. You might see that tonight. And by the way, 5-2 to the over the last 7 meetings in Ottawa with the Blackhawks Senators. Here's another thing to keep in mind. The Chicago penalty kill has been bad lately. They struggled, especially against Boston. And Ottawa's 5 power play goals for the Senators in their last 4 games. So Ottawa's man advantage is clicking right now for them. We'll see if that's something they can exploit. That kind of has me leaning Ottawa a little bit here, but I'm going to stay off the side because I think it's a coin flip, which is exactly evidenced by where the line is, even money both sides. Scott, what do you like here? Blackhawks Senators.
Yeah, I'm right there with you guys. The lean is to the over. This one could get a little crazy even with Fleury in the net. The line opened, Ottawa was a favorite. Now the line shows Chicago is a favorite. Again, getting more pick 'em than that. With you guys on the props there, I can't believe we're still looking at Kane each and every game. It makes me feel old because I feel like he started when with Lundqvist. We didn't. He's still going and watched every game of his career. So give me Kane points. I think the shots, Kane and DeBrincat. I think you'll see a lot of shots tonight. I don't think Ottawa's going to be able to hide the loss of Thomas Chabot if he's not in their lineup. So I see a lot more shots, a lot more offense. On the other side, Ottawa scores. I got this written up as a 5-4 Ottawa win. Like you guys said, it might start a little slow, and then the goals will come. And we'll see. Fleury 29 saves. I think Ottawa at home in a spot like this is gonna put a lot of shots on net. So Fleury's the best in the business at these. Over saves prop Marc-Andre Fleury if he's in the net.
All right, there we go. Like an over saves Marc-Andre Fleury for Chicago here. And again, Chabot, possible that he does not suit up here. Day to day, he is right now for the Senators. Obviously, the best defenseman, best all-around defenseman. No question about that. Game time decision right now for him for this game. Obviously, he's played the last 6, but game time decision due to an undisclosed injury for Chabot. So keep an eye on that. Closer to a puck drop. All right, next game up is Anaheim, New Jersey. We've got New Jersey minus 150 home favorites in this game. The total 6 across the board. I think you can target New Jersey in a bunch of different ways. Look, Anaheim's right for the picking right now. They're banged up. They're shorthanded. They've got some key guys out. They're struggling at the defensive end of the ice at the moment, and that's putting it mildly. They can't get a save right now from Gibson consistently, or Stolarz even. Stolarz has struggled a bit more lately as well, but really their team defense is what's been poor for the Anaheim Ducks in recent games. You got New Jersey off a 2-1 home loss to Winnipeg. I think it's a prime bounce-back situation. Remember, they were playing better, especially at home. They beat the Colorado Avalanche 5-3 at home, came back to win that game. They beat St. Louis 3-2 in overtime. They actually outshot Winnipeg, and they've actually carried the play 5 straight games against their opponent, this New Jersey team. So, I like the way their game is trending. It's trending in a better direction. You look at this Anaheim team, they just continue to struggle to keep the puck out of their own net. They gave up 4 to Nashville, 8 to Chicago, 5 to Vegas, 3 to Boston, 4 to the Islanders, 4 to LA. I mean, it's been a rough stretch of hockey for the Ducks. They're just 2-5 in their last 7 games. Like I said, who's going to be in the lineup It's a banged up team. Trevor Zegras questionable. The captain, Ryan Getzlaf's out indefinitely. Jakob Silverberg is now out for Anaheim as well, for them, the veteran forward. Josh Manson, key blue liner, still on IR. Isaac Lundestrom out as well for them. Sam Steele, day-to-day, along with Zegras. Zegras might play, but again, day-to-day, same with Sam Steele. So a lot of injuries right now for the Anaheim Ducks right now. I think it's definitely a good spot here for for the New Jersey Devils, rather, to bounce back and be able to get get back in the win column here. I'm going to probably target New Jersey a bunch of different ways here. I like them maybe early in the game to pounce on Anaheim, minus 130. You could even go minus a half and get a plus 160 on the. I might do that instead. The minus a half plus 160 in the first period for New Jersey. New Jersey, I like them to win the game, but maybe I'd go in regulation instead for the full game. I'm going to go right back to the well with the Devils team total in the first period as well. I think that's something to consider in this game, that they could get that early goal, which they've done quite a bit since the All-Star break. It's laying a big price. That's the problem. You've probably got to go with no, actually, I'm not going to bet that because it's over minus 210 with the first period over a half. So I'm not going to bet that now. With the price has gone up because they're favored here in this game. So, but I do think they get on the board early. I like the Devils team total here as well. 3.5 full game. We'll definitely bet the full game team total over 3.5, which you can get at plus 110 for New Jersey. I think that's the way to go. New Jersey regulation, New Jersey first period puck line minus a half plus 160, and I like the team total over 3.5 as well for the Devils tonight. Bounce back spot after losing to Winnipeg. And Anaheim defensively, they are ripe for the picking right now. Team defense struggling, goaltending struggling at the moment. Vito, what do you think here? Anaheim, New Jersey.
Yeah, well, I have went with over in this game, but I also wouldn't talk anyone actually off. Maybe if you want to play a money line and a puck line, like a split on Devils, it could be a very great play, I think, because I can see Devils actually covering a puck line as well in this game. As Ian is telling, Anaheim is very banged up. I mean, I have watched a little bit of Ducks, how they play against a few teams. I mean, the puck is bouncing around. I mean, then it looks like every puck which is a rebound or anything, it goes to the opposition. You know, it's not Anaheim D-man who is picking up the own rebound. It's always the opposition. And then, well, talking from New Jersey Devils side, I mean, yeah, guys, it's a young team. The average age is 25 years in that team. And yeah, they're very skilled offensively. You all can see how they skate. I mean, the legs are always working. I mean, the players without the puck, who's without the puck, also are working with their legs. You know, it's very important for the team. Team plays good when players without the puck skate, and when players without the puck actually provides themselves and get open. You know, because as soon as the play is not going and forwards start to not open themselves, you know, they cannot start the offense, and then everything is bad. So for the Devils, yeah, they're dominating every single team in first period at home. Doesn't matter, it's Avalanche, Blues, whatever. Who comes to New Jersey, Jersey's dominating them first period. I mean, only lack of experience in defense. I mean, also there's not so much experience in NHL since they're young. Also a young goalie, and yeah, I mean, I think Devils are putting up like 4 or 5 goals today. But I think also, well, I think the Ducks are getting like 2 goals, so I went with over 6. Kind of now I'm kind of rethinking this one, but I don't like to rethink. You know, I have done my decision, so I think I have to go with that one. But if I would not pick the over 6, maybe yeah, money line and puck line split with Devils, or just regulation with Devils also is good. Look, because I start to feel like I might not get anything from Anaheim, but my look is here that Devils also defensively lack experience, and I mean they just now played a low-scoring game. I don't think they played 2 low-scoring games in a row this team. I mean they're good offensively and lack experience in these. So yeah, give me over 6 in this game.
Yeah, I probably will have a small bet on that full game over 6. I just target I feel stronger about New Jersey contributing more to the scoring tonight than Anaheim. So I'm more in on the New Jersey bets, the first period puck line, the regulation bet for the full game, the team total over 3.5. But I do think the game could go over that full game as well. By the way, Blues out to a 2-0 lead early. So I said when a team's on a losing streak, they win. They could really get some a pep in their step, a bounce from that, and they've certainly shown that early. They're already up 2-0 on Nashville. St. Louis after getting that big win
Rob
against the
Thomas. Did
Rangers.
Rob Thomas score?
That's a good question. I should check to see who got these.
In the meantime, this devil. I didn't know. You good, Vito?
Well, I guess I'm good. I wanted to add some about what I wanted to add. Okay, go ahead.
Perron and Saad got the goals. David Perron, Brandon Saad, but Robert Thomas, and I did say maybe over 1.5 points on him. He got a point on the second goal. Yep.
Yeah, we got a good start.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. I got this. I got this one a 4-3 Anaheim. So a lot of what you guys were saying. The big question mark here is the bounce back from Anaheim. Anaheim is a team that when they play good teams, and let's call the Devils a good offensive team right now, at least since the All-Star break, they give up a lot of shots. So I'm looking at Gibson. I'm looking at the saves props for Gibson. I can't believe we're not on the Devils bandwagon anymore. You know, it used to be automatic first period team total or first period over, team total over, and then full game over. But lately, it just with Hischier out, you just don't feel the same way with the Devils. But I do think even though they're not scoring, they're getting a lot of shots. Like what you said, Vito, they're just dominating and putting up shots, and they come in waves. So I'm gonna look at Gibson saves prop, and again maybe Anaheim lean toward the over.
There you go. Lean toward the over. Look who's here. We got a special guest here. How are you?
Super Islander fan right here. She's been to a whole bunch of games. Who's your favorite Islander? Barzy.
Barzell, yeah, exactly.
Good answer.
And he came back, of course, for the Islanders last night. I didn't expect.
Yeah, now they show up.
Yeah, now they show up, and they beat the Winnipeg Jets. Nice win for the Islanders last night for sure. All right, so that's Anaheim, New Jersey. All right, we'll move on now. Seattle and Montreal. We've got Montreal -115 home favorites in this game. The total 6, shaded to the over slightly. I mean, hate to be a broken record here, but totals wise, over or pass for me. I probably will have a little bet on the over in this game. Side wise, though, look, I've been Mr. Montreal lately. I've been, on this Montreal Canadiens Express and bandwagon, whatever you want to call it, for the last several games. They played much better under Marty St. Louis, in spite of, the last game, not so much. They lost to Vancouver 5-3, but still they beat Calgary. They beat Edmonton. They had a good road trip overall. They played better hockey. But I don't love this spot at all. I don't like this spot at all for Montreal. They're off the long road trip. It's tricky. They're playing lowly Seattle. It feels like this could be a game where you don't get their best. Do I trust Seattle? No. But it's a pass for me from a side perspective. I'm not going to be on the Montreal 7 spot like I've been on the last few games, where I've gone Montreal first period team total over, first period puck line, first period money line, Montreal full game puck. No, none of that tonight, especially because they're favored now. They were big underdogs in a lot of those games. Now they're favored because they're playing Seattle at home. So totally different situation. Totally different, obviously, price range that we're talking about here. So for me, this is not going to be a game I get involved in, other than maybe I look at the over here, 6. Other than that, not going to get involved. What do you think here, Vito? Seattle, Montreal?
How you call this in America? 1-800-GAMBLER game?
Yeah, that's true. We talk about it with the DraftKings promos. Yeah, 1-800-GAMBLER. If you got a gambling problem, you may be betting this game from a side perspective.
Yeah, well, this game could be a problem. I mean, this Kraken team being on the road, man, if you look from this Kraken team, they don't have this finishing touch, they don't have this aggression. I mean, like they somehow look like they are in the game every game at first or second period. They kind of keep it close, and then they just it falls off in the end. So yeah, they have lost how many games in a row? I don't know even. I'm not sure if even they're dumping their season to get like a first pick now, because Arizona is getting past them. So I'm not sure what this Kraken team is doing now. They kind of look like they're playing, but in the end, they're not really playing. They go ahead. They go out, beat Preds, put up 2.5 expected goals, 5-5. Then they lose all the next game. So only way how to look at this, I mean, over, I think. Over is the only look for me here, because both teams generating chances. Both teams are letting goals in. I don't think this will be a tight game. First meeting, Kraken won 5-1 in Seattle. So this is the second meeting. I think we're gonna see we should see I mean it's Grubauer against Montembeau, but both goalies. I'm not too worried about here. Goalies. I mean, goalies cannot stop. I mean, bad defense or anything like that. So yeah, give me over 6 in this game. That's my bet here. I have placed that.
All right, I agree with that. It would be over 6 for me. There's a good prop game too. There's a lot that I like goal scoring wise. I'm talking about bargain prices. Caulfield, Suzuki for Montreal, but the big one, and I cashed a huge winner with him the other night against Vancouver. He scored twice in the game. Arturi Lehkonen for the Montreal Canadiens. He's playing great. He's scored in 4 of the last 5 games for the Canadiens, 4 of the last 10 games as well. And you can get still plus 400 Arturi Lehkonen. Let's see if we can. Lightning can strike twice, hopefully, for Arturi Lehkonen. And there are actually 2 props on Seattle that I like. Calle Jarnkrok, I've mentioned his name before. He scored in 3 of the last 10 games for this Kraken team, 2 of the last 5. You can get him plus 300 to score. And even more than that, Colin Blackwell for the Seattle Kraken, who is a guy that was with the Rangers, of course, previously. And if Seattle took him in the expansion draft. Colin Blackwell is getting a little bit more opportunity now in the lineup, courtesy of Dave Hackstall. He's playing up now on the 3rd line. He was 4th line a lot of the year. He's up on the 3rd line now. He's got some good chemistry with Morgan Geekie and Mason Appleton. Mason Appleton's actually found some scoring lately, too. Appleton's a good bargain bin prop, and certainly Blackwell is right now for the Seattle Kraken. Colin Blackwell, you know the numbers? 6 of the last let me see here. 3 of the last 10, he scored a goal. But more importantly, the last 5 games, 3 of the last 5, he scored a goal. And Colin Blackwell is about plus 400 in the goal scorer prop market right now. So this looks like one of those great games for me to take advantage of one of my classic Ian Cameron bargain bin goal scorer prop winners with a bunch of different guys. Lehkonen from Montreal, Appleton, Blackwell, Jarnkrok for Seattle. Those 3 in particular, I think there's tremendous value with their props, particularly to score a goal tonight. Scott, what do you think here with Seattle, Montreal?
Yeah, 1-800-GAMBLER. If that's the case, get me in for the tie. Get me in for the overtime at 3:30. Not much to love here. I was ready to say I wrote this up 4-2 Seattle. They play, they don't play. They came back late against Ottawa, but again, it doesn't add up for me. I'm not leaning Seattle here. At Pick'em in Montreal, basically. If there's one thing I want to bet in this game, I want to see Marty St. Louis. Give me Marty St. Louis. Cover the goal and a half puck line. Let's see the Canadiens at home Saturday night in front of that crowd. Marty St. Louis has a big moment there. Maybe there's some value there. Other than that, I'm with you guys. Sprinkle the draw, or let's move on.
Yeah, exactly. So look, the prop game for me more than anything. I will bet over 6, but there's other totals I like more than this one, but I still think this one's got a shot to get up and over that total. All right, next up, we've got the one of the hottest teams in the NHL, and I kid you not, but right now they are a little bit. Arizona, the Coyotes, what a week. If the entire season was made up of this week, like Arizona would probably be the best team in the NHL right now. That's the kind of week they've had. They've been tremendous. Now they try to keep it rolling here against the Boston Bruins, and they're getting almost plus 300 in this game as underdogs against the Bruins, who are minus 360 in this one. The total sitting at 6 pretty much across the board. I'm doing it again. I'm doing the 7-0 science experiment with Arizona again tonight in this game against Boston. The one that worked out so well for me against Toronto in their last game. The one that I also used a couple of times with Montreal when they played Calgary and Edmonton on that road trip, where we just went every which way betting on that team for that game. And I'm doing that again here with Arizona. We're going to go with everything. The same 7. We're going to go full game over. We're going to go first. That's the first bet, full game over for me in this one. First period, we're going to go with plus a half, minus 120, puck line, Arizona. Plus 225 money line, Arizona. Arizona to score a goal in the first period, aka their team total in the first period, over a half, minus 120. Same bets in the full game, plus 1.5, plus 120 puck line full game, plus 300 in that range, plus 290 full game money line, and the full game team total, Arizona over 2.5 here in this one as well. That's what I'm going, and plus the full game over. So those are the 7 bets. Yeah, and the over 2.5 is plus 150 team total here for the Arizona Coyotes. So it is a game where I'm just getting involved right now, every which way on the Arizona Coyotes. 7 bets, the same 7 I took against Toronto. Arizona first period puck line, first period money line, first period team total over. Arizona full game puck line, full game money line, full game team total over 2.5, and the full game over 6. There we go. This is again, no disrespect on Boston. Boston obviously is a capable team. Swayman's played better in net, but Swayman has given up some goals the last few starts for them. So keep that in mind. He's been good overall, 8-1-1, 1.67 goals against, 940 save percentage. But he gave up 4 goals to Columbus, and they won. And they gave up 3 goals he gave up 3 to Chicago, but they won. They scored enough for him in those 2 games. And the Coyotes have something going offensively right now. Clayton Keller's been good. Nick Ritchie has even scored for them. Galchenyuk's chipped in. Jacob Chikrin is a great prop for this game, player prop wise. Points to score a goal. He's on a little bit of a goal scoring splurge as well. Jacob Chikrin, as he showcases what he can do prior to the trade deadline. He's got 5 points in the last 2 games, 4 goals in the last 2 games, back-to-back 2-goal games. He's registered 2-2-1-3-2, a total of 10 points in the last 6 games for Jacob Chikrin, the blue liner for the Coyotes. So you got to believe I'm taking him over 1.5 points at a big plus price. Same with Nick Schmaltz for Arizona, who continues to produce, score goals, get the points. It's a great prop game. Schmaltz points, Schmaltz to score a goal, Chikrin to score a goal, Chikrin points over 1.5, and Arizona in all those different fashions. Vamelka's the big question. How's he going to play? He can look great one game. He can look awful the next. It'll be Vamelka in net tonight for Arizona. We'll see how he plays. He didn't have to do too much against Detroit. They gave him 9 goals in that last start that he made in that 9-2 win, so he didn't have to be, all that spectacular considering the goal support he got. But how will he fare here against a better Boston team's a question. So there we go. Arizona, first period, full game, puck line, money line, team total, and the full game over for me. Let's see if I don't even want 7-0. I don't bet all these and say I expect to go 7-0. Of course not. Give me a 4-2-1 like I had with Montreal against Vancouver. Give me a 5-2 result, even a 4-3 result with these 7 bets. I'll take it. I'll be happy. But I think we got a chance to be at least profitable with these 7 plays with Arizona and the full game over tonight. Vito, what do you think here? Coyotes, Bruins.
Yeah, looking, I understand where you're going here. Over definitely. Well, Coyotes been putting up some goals lately, a lot. But from what I'm checking, the Coyotes, they put up a lot of expected goals, 5-5 against teams like, they played well against Jets, but that was in the end of February. They put up like 3.2 expected goals in that game against Jets. But, and then they played Avs. Let me check. They played well against Sens, against Red Wings. There's no good defense in that teams. Leafs is not the hardest team to play against. I mean, everybody loves to play against Leafs, I think. They love to play pretty hockey. So, not sure how these Coyotes, everybody is high on these Coyotes. I understand they're scoring, but today they're going to play Bruins. Well, also Bruins, to be honest, their defense is terrible. Like Matt Grzelcyk, is he still out? I don't know this actually, but he's still out, right? So yeah, if he's out, I mean, yeah, Bruins defense is not good. I mean, guys, if Chicago can score, any team can score on them. They had some pretty okay road trip, but yeah,
Grzelcyk actually coming back tonight. It looks like Grzelcyk is going to be back for the Bruins.
Okay, that's
tonight.
important for Boston.
That is, yeah.
Yeah. Well, Boston is pretty usually okay. Indeed, this is a hard game for me to handicap. Because Boston is still a great club. I mean, this price definitely is not. I'm not looking at the site here. This is just ridiculous. But also, I'm not sure if this goes over straight away because maybe it stays under this game. I'm just like thinking, first meeting ended 2-1 in Arizona. Boston won. Lately, yeah, Arizona been scoring, but this is Boston team. They play a little bit better than the Saints. I mean, Ottawa, the Red Wings. Yeah, it's don't have a big opinion, guys, on this game. To be honest, I don't think Bruins also are like big favorites and obviously covering the puck line. But I can also see maybe Yost will be regressing in this game. To be honest, so I'm just staying away.
All right, stay away for Vito in this one with Arizona and Boston. Robert Thomas has gotten you on the board, and he's gotten you 2 points already. There you go. Scored the third goal for the Blues. Robert
It's
Thomas.
too easy, Ian. They're printing money for us, Ian.
And over 1.5 points. And did I bet it? No.
We've been on the how long? It's just too easy. Come on.
I didn't get it in. I was gonna, and then I realized, wait a minute, I'm doing the show. I've had to do the college basketball.
We're just getting started. We're just getting started here.
There's gonna be money to be made later. I just hope
a lot of games ahead.
Bet it. Yeah. All right, Scott, go ahead. What do you like? Arizona, Boston.
Hey, Arizona, right? What can you say? All things coming up. Nick Schmaltz. I'm with you right there. I think they're driving the offense. They're feeling it. Maybe there's some value here. I look to the saves in Swayman. Maybe they don't score like they've been scoring, but I see Arizona and Grizzlick, whether he plays or not, the Arizona's coming. And 22.5 saves, if I got that number right, seems really low for me. I know Boston, as good as they get defensively, tight to the vest. You could see Boston just do their thing. You know, they just seem to kind of show up and do their thing. But I see Arizona getting the shots on net. I see Chychrun, Schmaltz, point props, goal props if they come. But I like Arizona shots, 25.5 shots. If you can get Swayman 22.5 saves, I mean, that might be best bet material for me.
All right, there you go. Liking Swayman to be busy and active tonight for Boston. Over shots maybe for him, saves for him tonight against the Coyotes. Duchesne has just scored for Nashville. So there's another one I kind of said maybe Duchesne over points, 1.5. And we already got 2 from Thomas. Now we just need 1 more for Duchesne. So again, I didn't bet these because I'm an idiot and I don't plan shit very well ahead of time. Like I should have set aside time to get these in, knowing it was a 12:30 p.m. Eastern game. But did I do that? No. But I hope someone listened and bet them. But that's okay. We've got lots of good props. We've mentioned there's a bunch in these.
You're doing how many shows a day? You were on there till the college basketball schedule ended, and that was a great appearance.
Yep.
In Ice Guys, nobody calls you Bobanos. I never. Every 5 seconds was Bobanos, and you didn't get a chance to put a pick in.
Yeah, exactly. It was 100% true, and I'm trying to finalize all the college bets first and foremost today, and then turn the attention to hockey. But that's okay. At least I'm giving you. At least the mind was in the right place with some of these, with Thomas, with Duchesne, in this early game. So I'm happy about that. All right, so there you go. That's Arizona, Boston. Let's go to Detroit and Calgary now. Next up, Calgary Flames -350. Home favorites here against this just this awful defensive team right now that is the Detroit Red Wings. The total 6.5 across the board. I mean, guys, what can you say about Detroit? I mean, this is just completely fallen apart at the defensive end of the ice for this hockey team. They can't keep the puck out of the net. It's terrible right now, Detroit. I mean, it's just awful to see this team's level of defending at the moment. It's non-existent. And look, Nedeljkovic, is he playing very well right now? No, he's not. But the defense in front of them is the worst part. You're seeing them look at these last several games. For my goodness, they gave up the 10 spot against Toronto, 5 against Colorado, 3 against Carolina, 3 against Tampa, 6 against Florida, the 9 against Arizona in that debacle earlier this week. Better effort against Minnesota, but they still give up 5 goals prior to losing 6-5 in a shootout to Minnesota. So this team's just awful in the defensive end right now. Calgary's team total, the problem is it's 4.5 instead of 3.5. You can probably still take it over 4.5. In fact, I'm going to do that, and I almost never bet Calgary or bet any team total over a 4.5. 3.5 is about usually as high as I go, but I'm going to make an exception here. I don't know how Calgary doesn't score 5 against Detroit right now. They're an absolute shit show at the defensive end. The penalty kill is atrocious. They've given up 3, 5, 6, 7 power play goals in the last 5 games. Oh, and by the way, they're facing a Calgary team that in their last 7 games, they've connected with the man advantage 7 times. So you talk about a power play for Calgary that's scoring, a Detroit penalty kill that's struggling mightily. And I think this is a game where Calgary can get 5 goals. I like over 4.5. I'd lean full game over too, but do I want to trust Detroit to score against Calgary? I'm not sure. And they just lost Robbie Fabry for the season. Terrible news for Detroit. He had been playing well. He had scored 3 goals in 3 straight games for the Detroit Red Wings prior to his injury against Minnesota the other night, and now he's out for the season. So very, very unfortunate news for him. Robbie Fabry out for the year. That's disappointing. We'll see who's in net for Detroit. Do they go back to Nedeljkovic, whose confidence must be shaken with just the horrible defending in front of him? Or do they go to Thomas Greiss, who, to be honest, when he was in there, he wasn't very good the last time we saw him in net. So full game over. I'm certainly not betting Detroit games under. I'd lean full game over, but maybe better, safer to target Calgary here over 4.5 in this one. You could even be bold here and go with Calgary first period team total. You could get Calgary's first period team total in this game over 1.5 plus 170. So think about that price a bit. Can we get 2 goals from Calgary in the first period in this game against this Civ Detroit defense right now? I think it's very possible. So as much as I like over 4.5 full game, it's tremendous value, I think, staring you in the face here. Calgary team total over 1.5 plus 170 in the first period here tonight against Detroit. What do you think, Vito? Red Wings, Flames?
Oh, this is completely a stay off as well for me this game because simply because Calgary is playing Avs also tomorrow. I think that's a big game for them. They won last time in Colorado. This is going to be a second meeting tomorrow. So yeah, we're gonna have to wait and see who's also been in net. It might be Vladar today since it's a back-to-back tomorrow. So yeah, I think we have to wait here and see. I can definitely see Flames getting to the 5 goals, obviously, here, but I don't think I'm laying that. I'm not sure what Red Wings can bring to you. So, but yeah, well, as I say, it's a stay off for me game. Obviously, Flames are the favorite here, but I can see also it somehow maybe has something 4-3, something like that for the Flames. Yeah, could be. So I'm just staying away since it's just because I don't like this game and I don't like the odds here. Nothing to play here, to be honest, guys. Yeah, from a props perspective, since there's many guys out for Red Wings, I'm not sure if they're even getting some goals today. So it's hard to look for the props for Red Wings, to be honest. Yeah, you can check something from Flames in this case. I mean, definitely good draw. Scored a hat trick against Tampa. So Lindholm, the same guys, Lindholm. I mean, Toffoli also has been starting to score. I mean, maybe you can watch on Toffoli. Maybe he continues to score since he's a new guy. But yeah, anyways, I don't have anything much to offer, not offer, but like to say my opinion about this game because odds are just not there. Flames play Avs the next game day. There's better games today on the slate for me to play.
That is the one issue for Calgary. A huge game with Colorado tomorrow night. That's a big game. But is Detroit good enough to take advantage of maybe a look-ahead spot for Cal? I don't know. I just don't think they are. I think they're just horrendous defensively right now. Everything that you look at with Detroit, it's breakdowns, it's odd man rushes given up. It's just total collapse in front of the net, in front of their goalies. Like they're just way too many people given time and space to do whatever they want in the offensive zone against Detroit right now. And I'm not sure even maybe a look ahead to Colorado, the showdown tomorrow is enough to help Detroit tonight. And by the way, Calgary won 5 straight meetings against Detroit. And actually, if you look at now, again, they haven't played in a couple years against each other head to head because of the COVID-19 issues the last couple years. But the last 3 meetings in Calgary between the Red Wings and the Flames, Calgary 6-3 win, Calgary 6-4 win, Calgary 5-1 win. And they scored 5 goals or more in all 3 of the last 3 games that they hosted Detroit. And now they play Detroit at their absolute lowest level of confidence defensively at the moment. So even more reason to like, I think, the over 4.5 maybe for Calgary team total. And don't sleep on that team total over 1.5 plus 170 in the first period for Calgary as well. That's pretty good value. Scott, what do you think?
Yeah, that could be a great look.
Yeah. Scott, what do you think? Detroit, Calgary.
Who knows with this game? It's one of those, you could just see Calgary taking care of business. We've thrown around the term that if there's one team that might be a giant killer, it's these Red Wings, but not now. Not gonna bet on them the way they've looked. Anything in this game, I'm looking Calgary team total in game. Maybe you get a little bit of a slow start. You watch that team total come down. It becomes a good value when they get to what would Alex say? Wait 5-10 minute increments and then check that team. And if it looks good, they're bringing the offense. Nedeljkovic, you'll see what you get if he's in net. Either way, 7.5 shots for Calgary. That's a lot of shots. I don't know if I'm looking anywhere near that number. But the only reason I bring that up is for handicappers who have really kept a watch on those shots on goal props. 37.5 was unimaginable. December, January, it was not even close. The handicappers have caught up, and this year, in general, the increase in shots on goal, it was there. The handicappers have caught up. If you can get 25s and 26s, I would look at them. But you're seeing Calgary 37.5 shots. Just something the league has really changed in the style of hockey, and you'll see it from where they really cut back on calling the cross checks in the corner, interference in the corner. The game has changed in that regard, and it's bringing the shots and the offense. And 37.5 shots, man. If you told me back when these two teams met in October, Detroit, Calgary, I would say that's an automatic Calgary shots over. Give me Nedeljkovic saves over. 37.5. It's just amazing where these lines have come just in a few short months. So no value here. Look, Calgary team total in game. One prop guy. No surprise, Johnny Hockey. I saw over 1.5 plus 136.
Great. Yeah.
And Ian, you can better back me up on who's around him and why Johnny Hockey is who he is. So here you go. You got Detroit, the Civ shit show. You got Johnny Hockey at home on a Saturday night. Let's see if he can get a couple points at a plus price.
Yeah, I mean, it's not as big a plus price as some, but it's still a good price for what he's doing right now. Plus 140 in that range. Johnny Gaudreau, over 1.5 points tonight. Absolutely. Had 3 points against Tampa, hat trick. All three of them were goals. 2 points against Edmonton, 3 points at Colorado, 2 points against Minnesota. I mean, he's registered at least 1 point. He's on a 7-game point streak right now, Gaudreau, and multiple games he's had at least 2. So I'm with you there. Johnny Gaudreau over 1.5 points for sure for the Calgary. This could be a good point. Over 1.5 points. You could go with Gaudreau. You could go with take your chance with Toffoli. I think he, a prime goal scorer like him could have a big night here. He scored 4 points the last 3 games. He had 2 against Edmonton, point in the last 3 games. Lindholm, it goes without saying, he could hit over 1.5 points tonight for the Flames as well. Good over 1.5 points prop game, I think, for Calgary. Obviously against this very much struggling Detroit team right now. So definitely going to sprinkle something on Lindholm, Toffoli, and Gaudreau. I think those are good to look at here in terms of over 1.5 points for the Calgary Flames tonight in this one. All right, New York Rangers, Dallas Stars. Dallas minus 135, home favorites, 5.5 the total, shaded to the under. I think there's a great spot for the Rangers because Gerard Gallant kind of read them the riot act after the St. Louis game, basically saying, how could we play like this? Igor Shesterkin is there night in and night out for us, and we respond by being there for him like this, hanging him out to dry against the St. Louis Blues, which is what happened. Do not think for a second Igor Shesterkin was bad in that game. If you didn't watch the game, you're going to see, oh, look at that loss to St. Louis. He got pulled. Off night for Igor Shesterkin. Couldn't be further from the truth. They were absolutely brutal in front of him, the Rangers, in that game. Turnovers, mistakes with the puck, bad coverage in front of the net, not taking anybody out, not even closing down time and space in the zone. It was everything for the Rangers in that game against St. Louis. And that's now back-to-back games where they've not been pleased with how they've played in front of their goaltenders. Georgiev in the game against Minnesota, and then, of course, the loss to the Blues. I like this spot here for the Rangers. And look, I've made some money with Dallas lately, and they've put some money in. I took them against Minnesota last Sunday. Best bet on the show against the Wild. They're playing some good hockey. They're playing for their playoff lives, but I think they're playing a Rangers team that's not happy at all with the way they played the last 2 games. They know they hung their goaltender, Igor Shesterkin, out to dry, and I think they show up here tonight and make amends for it. Keep in mind, Miro Heiskanen is still out for the Dallas, one of their better defensemen. That's significant. Rangers, by the way, 6-1 in their last 7 games after a loss of 3 or more goals. So they've been good in these situations, trying to bounce back here after a bad game. And I think they do here. I like the Rangers, plus 115 in this game. This might be a game 2. Team total, Dallas. Under 2. I don't bet a lot of team total unders, but team total under 2.5 for the Dallas Stars at a plus price. I think this is Shesterkin bouncing back after getting pulled. It wasn't his fault, but he's still a guy that's probably not happy about getting pulled in that game. And I think they're going to bear down defensively, make it tough on Dallas. They'll play better in front of them after Gerard Gallant basically called out their defensive effort the other night. And I think they keep Dallas to 2 goals or less. And I like the Rangers here, plus 115 in this one. It makes sense. I mean, it makes sense that you're going to get, I think, the best from the Rangers tonight after these last 2 games. Vito, what do you think? Rangers Stars?
Yeah, well, Stars, even they have played some good hockey. I mean, they had some victories. Their expected goals are not great. I mean, they're not generating a lot of offense. I mean, they're getting goals in power plays, maybe some shots there and back, but they're not like generating super good chances a lot in games. I mean, Robertson been scoring some individual goals also. So yeah, Stars are definitely not a look for me here. I don't think they are like super good team. They love to play a lot around the boards, somehow, and then they win like 2-2 games, 3-3 games, always these kind of games. I think the Stars team depends on luck more or less, because how it's going to be luck on any given night, that's going to be the end result. If Oettinger is going to have a great game, they're going to win. If Oettinger is going to have a bad game, they're going to lose. So, yeah, in this spot, I mean, I think it's going to be Shesterkin, versus Oettinger. I mean, which goal is going to be better, that team will win. And since it's not in the pick'em, since like Rangers are like an underdog here, I think the right move is to go with the Rangers here, because even if Dallas is great at home, I mean, still hockey, But only one more thing, maybe. If you look, guys, Dallas is on a huge rest here. So rest advantage definitely, I think, a little bit for Dallas here. But if anyways, I mean, I think the price tells you to take Rangers here with Shesterkin and net. I'm staying away from this game. I just don't want to play this. I have different bets today.
All right, Scott, Rangers Stars.
Yeah, as the saying goes, Dallas at home. I know it's a bounce back for the Rangers. As a loyal Islander fan, and again, you try to bet with your money, not your head. I just don't want to believe the Rangers are that good. I know what you're saying about the coach reading them the riot act, and it's Igor Shesterkin. They gave up 5 to Minnesota. They gave up 6 to St. Louis. I just don't think you walk into Dallas and turn it around in Dallas. You know what? Call me crazy. I want to go double puck line, Dallas at home, maybe 5-2, 6-3.
Wow, double puck line here. So liking the Dallas Stars here to take care of business. And look, they're in good form, Dallas. Kind of fortuitous. You're right. They're
a little quiet at home. I mean, they don't lose at home. I mean, maybe once against Colorado, you gotta look back. They're just a different team at home. I trust them at home. I don't trust the Rangers. If anything, Shesterkin is a 29.5 save prop tonight. If he does stand on his head, he's going over 29.5 saves. And like you said, Vito, Oettinger as well. I mean, expect a high shot out of this game. I think the goals start slow, and then they start coming unless Igor does what he does. But I don't want to believe he's going to do it tonight in Dallas. I don't think they're ready for it. So let's call me crazy. I got plus 340 on the double puck line. Dallas Stars at home.
All right, Dallas Stars liking them to take care of business. And that's why this game's fascinating, because we do have a very good Rangers team off 2 bad games in a row. You'd expect the best from them, but they're walking into a Dallas team that's like played well lately, no question, and have been good at home all year. So great matchup there, Rangers and Stars.
And also, Ian, you got Pavelski just signed that contract, right? I got that right?
Yep.
They just re-upped Pavelski. So give me that line. Hintz, Pavelski, and Robertson.
Robertson, yes, of course. Robertson's always, even though I like the
Yeah,
Rangers
give me
tonight, how
give
do you
me
not take?
Pavelski, Hintz, and Robertson.
Yep. How do you not take Robertson to score a goal, even at plus 140? Plus, it's not the greatest price, but hard to ignore that. And Ryan Strome, by the way, for the Rangers, he's been finding the back of the net lately a little bit more, and you can get plus 350 for him to score a goal. I think Lafreniere kind of. Gallant said they need a little bit more from him the last after the last game too. So I think that young kid will respond too. Maybe Lafreniere worth a look for the Rangers, maybe to find the back of the net tonight against Dallas as well. All right, we're down to the last two games on the slate. Los Angeles Kings, San Jose Sharks. Los Angeles minus 130, road favorites, 5.5 the total in this one. Obviously, LA losing to San Jose in overtime, 4-3 at home. Just Thursday night rematch now in San Jose. I like the Kings here, minus 130. I think they bounce back and they win here tonight. In San Jose. I'll dare the Sharks to beat this team a second straight time. The one concern is San Jose's done well historically and recently against the LA Kings. They really have played this team well. And I don't think they can afford to lose two in a row, though, the LA Kings. They know these are important games in the standings in the Pacific Division, which is turning into one hell of a race. By the way, Shesterkin and Ottinger confirmed goalies in that Rangers Stars game. As far as this game, apparently Aiden Hill has been cleared from his injury and slated to return and be in the net tonight for San Jose. So Aiden Hill hasn't played since January 22nd. His numbers they're decent, but they're not great. 2.78 goals against, 901 save percentage, 9-12 his record overall. Hasn't played in a while. Kings, I think, bounce back. Kings, I like them off a loss. Find a way here to get the job done. By the way, the Kings do have some injuries, though. Walker on the blue line, Edler on the blue line, Drew Doughty's questionable with an upper body injury, and Victor Arvidsson remains out with a lower body injury and is week to week. But I still lean to LA here. I don't think they're going to lose two in a row to the San Jose Sharks. And I'll take my chances that Aiden Hill is not sharp. He hasn't played in a month and a half. It's a lot of time to be out with an injury, sitting on the sidelines. I think you're going to see maybe the LA Kings be able to find some offensive success tonight. As far as goal scoring props, I'd go back to the same two that I've been looking at for a while now for LA. That's Adrian Kempe for the Kings, and that's also Trevor Moore, who is a guy that has benefited from a move up the lineup, playing on the second line with Athanasiou and Danault. That line's been great. Hell, you could even look at Kaliev, who's now on the top line with Kopitar and Kempe tonight. You could give Danault a look, goals and props. You could even look at Athanasiou, who's really percolated offensively the last couple games for the Kings. So this is a good game with a little Athanasiou, a little Danault, a little Kaliev, a little Moore, Kempe. Sprinkle around a bunch of different King props tonight. That's what I'm going to be doing in this game. Vito, what do you think here? Los Angeles, San Jose.
Yeah, for me, it was actually pretty easy here to take Los Angeles Kings. And I know all the stuff that they are not played well against Sharks and so on. The Kings are just better team this season. And also the last game, if you look at the expected goals, if you look at 5-on-5, especially, Kings almost won by a goal. I mean, it was, so that's a lot. I mean, if you look at the full strength, then with power plays together, both teams ended like 3.5. But on 5-on-5, Kings is a much better team. You have to take in consideration that was first game for Kings home after that East Coast road trip. So Sharks maybe catch them on that one. On some that means they took some penalties. I mean, the Kings, because of that road trip. So I think this will be a little bit different game here today. The Sharks are leading the series 2-0 this year. It's a division rival game. Kings have a little bit rested now 2 days, right? So I expect Kings here to win in regulation. So I have taken Kings plus 125 in a reg to beat the Sharks team. I mean, we're gonna see Adam Hill. He hasn't played for a long time. And Kings playing well, great hockey. So revenge spot, another thing. I mean, I love to play those revenge spots, especially when the team, which is better, is the team getting revenge here. So give me Kings in regulation.
All right, Kings in regulation at an even better price, a plus price there on that for Vito. Scott, LA, San Jose.
Not much here. Lean toward LA. No Victor Arvidsson, no Drew Doughty. But again, not going to put the money on San Jose. Maybe look in-game team total for LA. Other than that, this is a pass.
All right, good stuff there. All right, next up, we've got Tampa Bay and Edmonton. Final game of this Saturday slate. Tampa Bay minus 150 to minus 160 even in some spots here as road favorites in Edmonton. The total in this game currently 6.5 shaded to the over right now between these two teams. I'm reluctant to go against Tampa here in this spot. They're not playing well. They haven't played well the last couple games. The Calgary game wasn't great. The Winnipeg game was terrible. It might have been one of the worst games I've seen Andrei Vasilevsky play in a very long time for the Tampa Bay Lightning against Winnipeg earlier this week. He looked totally off his game, uncomfortable, fighting the puck, giving up goals through the 5-hole. It was the works for Andrei Vasilevsky in that game. He did not play well for the Lightning. But now the Lightning are off 2 losses in a row. How often do they lose 3 in a row? Long-term, historically, not very often. And they're sitting probably in a spot where you're going to get you would presume you're going to get their best. Is Edmonton good enough to take advantage of a struggling Tampa team? I don't know. They did beat Washington 4-3 in overtime. It looks like Mikko Koskinen back in net tonight for the Oilers. You'd expect Vasilevsky to be in net here for the Tampa Bay Lightning tonight. But it's just one of those things that long-term, Tampa Bay is not one of those teams that when they're off 2 losses in a row, like the likes of which they've had, that I like to bet against them in spots like this. I just don't like to go against them in these type of situations. So right now, this is probably going to be a pass for me. I'll probably look more toward player props in a game like this. Like think Point, think Kucherov, think Hedman, think points like think about those players from a prop standpoint, that those are the guys that probably drive the bus tonight for Tampa Bay as they look to snap this 2-game losing streak here on this Western Canadian road trip. Vito, what do you think here? Tampa Bay, Edmonton.
Yeah, Tampa being on the road trip, and they're gonna still be on the road trip. I think they play tomorrow as well. I was checking if goalie. I think goalies is not confirmed yet.
Koskinen for Edmonton confirmed, but it should be Vasilevsky for Tampa, I would think.
It should be, yeah. Well, Elliott then gonna play tomorrow, I guess. So yeah, I think Tampa, but we can rely on this game. I think Tampa will get you the four goals I made think here, because Tampa is off a loss here, of 2 losses, and they've been generating definitely chances. I mean, this is Tampa team, and for the Oilers play kind of strange, So I don't think their defense is good as everyone says after the coaching change. I don't still think they're still being allowing some chances. Okay, they played a little bit better against the Caps. And maybe against the Flames, it also was low-scoring game. But against the Canadiens, they allowed 2.33 expected goals 5-on-5. They basically lost it. And against the Blackhawks, it was even. I don't think Oilers can actually win today, this Tampa team. I think it's going to be a close one. I don't have a strong opinion. I mean, over is at 6.5, how I remember, right? No, yeah, 6.5, you see. So that's a little bit too. If anything, if it would be a 6, I would go over in this game because I think both teams will get goals. Now, when it's 6.5, I think Tampa over 3.5 goals is the play in this game.
All right, liking the team total, Vito, here. Tampa Bay team total over 3.5, minus 120. That might be a decent bet. Koskinen's been better lately for Edmonton. I will say that. Koskinen, if you'll actually look at his last few starts in net for the Edmonton Oilers, he gave up 3 to Washington. He gave up 3 to Calgary. He's been a little bit better lately. We'll give him that. The 5 goals Montreal scored, it was Mike Smith that night for the Oilers. He did give up four in an overtime against Chicago. That's the one game he gave up more than 3 goals, but he shut out Philly. He kept Florida to 3. I mean, he has been better lately, so it's not to me a shoe-in that Tampa's going to for sure get to 4 goals. But from a spot perspective, John Cooper's been more and more vocal especially after the last game, that we just need a little bit more punch. And there's Duchesne's 2 points. There you go. He got a point on the power play goal that Nashville just scored to make it 3-2. So, the props were good. Yep, the props were good for us, Scott. You too. The props were very good for both of us in that St. Louis Nashville game that we started off the show with talking about. So,
no better feeling in the world. No better feeling in the world than cashing a sports betting ticket. Here we are. It's not even 1:45 on the East Coast.
Yeah, that's the great thing about the props. You don't necessarily always have to wait till the end of the game to cash it. It can happen, first period.
Yeah.
It can happen
winner before dinner.
Yeah, exactly. Winner before dinner. Absolutely right. So a lot of action-packed golf fest early in the day here with the Predators and the Blues in this first game of the day as we just about to wrap up this show. Scott, what do you think here, Tampa Bay, Edmonton?
Yeah, a lot going on in this matchup. Like you said, Ian, Tampa Bay after a loss. As an Islander fan, it's extra salt in the wound. Vasilevsky and the Tampa Bay Lightning after a loss, just insanely good. Why are they so good? Defense and shot blocking, puck possession. They don't turn the puck over, and we all know the old saying: turnovers are like ex-wives. If you have a lot of them, they're gonna cost you a lot. So Tampa controlling the puck, getting it deep. I thought you'd like that. So anyway, why are they so good? They control the shots. They control the puck possession. And Edmonton, if I have this right, 34.5 shots. I'm going under 34.5 shots tonight. I got Tampa after a loss. Like you said, Vito, this should be a low-scoring game. They should have total control of Edmonton without Nugent Hopkins. It's Tampa. From a prop side, you already mentioned Kucherov. On the other side, Ian, you could check my stats here. Evander Kane. You know, when he signed with Edmonton, we ran that bandwagon for a little while, and it worked out very nicely. He's been shooting the puck. So maybe if you're gonna go Edmonton under shots, or Vasilevsky over saves, you might want to look at Evander Kane as maybe a little hedge there because he's firing the puck at will. I like Tampa after a loss. I got this one written up 4-1, 3-1. But again, under shots for Edmonton.
All right, good stuff. By the way, Hyman over 2.5 shots on goal, -120 for Edmonton. 7 of the last 10, he's gone over that. So something to consider there for a shots on goal prop. By the way, there's some other bargain goal score props for Tampa that might be worth a look. Sprinkle on a couple of these or smaller bets on some of these. Perry plus 300. He's scored 4 of the last 10 games. Sergachev, 3 out of the last 10, and you can get plus 700 because he's a defenseman. But he scored in 3 of the last 10. He's been joining the play a lot more lately, jumping up in the rush. Plus 700 for him to score a goal. You know, you could just a couple bucks on that, and it'll pay so well if he ends up cashing in. And Alex Killorn as well for Tampa as of late. A little bit more punch from him offensively. And you can get plus 225 on him to score a goal for the Lightning. So a couple of nice little suggestions there in terms of player props for this game. Great stuff with Vito, and our special guest Scott did a great job. I like that he brought a lot of great prop analysis and insight with him as well. Great stuff. We'll get to best bets and wrap up the show in just a second. Thanks to everyone for watching the show live on YouTube. Hit the like button on the way out if you haven't done so already. We appreciate it. And a reminder, DraftKings Sportsbook are great partners here with the Ice Guys and the Hockey Podcast Network. The NHL season has been packed with dirty dangles, hat tricks, and big wins. As the action rolls on, DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL, is your shot to win big too. New customers can bet just $1 on any NHL team and get $150 in free bets if they win. That's right, a bump in the win column for your team means free bets for you. If DraftKings Sportsbook isn't available in your state yet, you still have a shot to light the lamp. Everyone can play for huge cash prizes with DraftKings daily fantasy hockey contests. DraftKings is giving all new customers a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes with their first deposit. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code THPN. Bet just $1 on any NHL team and get $150 in free bets if they win. That's promo code THPN at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. Must be 21 years of age or older. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Download the DraftKings app. Sign up for an account. Use the promo code THPN. All right. Best bets to wrap up this Saturday edition of the Ice Guys. Vito, we'll start with you. What do you like for best bet?
Yeah, I think give me that over in Canadiens and Kraken game over 6.
All right, Seattle, Montreal over 6. Best bet for Vito. Scott, thanks for joining us. Did a great job. We'll have you back on later this season for sure. What do you like for best bet?
That's an easy one for me. Robert Thomas to score a goal. No, I'm just kidding. Give me Swayman over 22.5 saves. Thanks for having me.
All right, Jeremy Swayman, Boston Bruins over 22.5 saves, goalie saves prop for Scott with his best bet for this Saturday card. My best bet is going to be, I'm going to go with New Jersey team total here tonight, over 3.5, plus 110, plus it's even money. It's plus 110 in a lot of spots. I think the Devils get to 4 goals. It's a good spot for them after a loss to Winnipeg. They got shut down in that game, but prior to that, this team's been scoring goals, especially on home ice. I think they get to 4 goals against the Anaheim Ducks tonight, who have just not been very good in their own zone lately. New Jersey Devils team total over 3.5, plus 110 for my best bet for this Saturday NHL slate. That'll wrap up this edition of the Ice Guys. Thanks to everyone for joining us. Hit the like button. Those of you watching on YouTube, a reminder, the Ice Guys is live 7 days a week, Monday to Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern, Saturday and Sunday, noon Eastern. If you can't watch the show live, download the Ice Guys podcast in audio form on all major podcast platforms, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and iHeartRadio. Download the Ice Guys podcast when you can't watch the show live. Someone asking in the chat just before we wrap up, do you bet the American Hockey League? No, just because I don't have as much time to follow it. Once in a while, if there's some bit of info I find out, someone's going down to the AHL and it might affect the outcome, maybe I'll bet it, but just that's once in a while. Alex B. Smith, our colleague, will bet a little bit of AHL from time to time. But again, for him, it's just occasional. It's not every day that he handicaps that. But good question. Appreciate it. Great stuff. Scott, great job. Vito, as always on the weekends, you did a great job. For Vito, for Scott, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Saturday. Enjoy the games and good luck. And Vito and I will be back with you tomorrow on Sunday, noon Eastern, for another edition of the Ice Guys presented by the Hockey Podcast Network.